over everything EA Sports FC24. A couple of you have been asking for a video of like this, just to see kind of what's new and me kind of, give my 2 cents on certain things that are confirmed to be coming out in the next FC. I was about to call it FIFA, but I gotta get used to calling it FC now. There's a lot of new things that have been confirmed in the EA deep dive videos that they've actually released on their YouTube channel. And I'm going to kind of summarize what they've confirmed in those trailers, and then also go through some leaks and some other stuff that have also been confirmed about what is included in the game and what isn't included. And I'll also just give you my opinions on those to kind of let you know what the community kind of feels about it and what I feel about it. But anyways, let's get right into the gameplay deep dive that EA released about a couple weeks ago. And they went into this hypermotion V technology thing that you see here, which they describe as a volumetric capture technology, which, if you want, you can take a quick read on what this is here. But basically, the way they described it in the actual trailer was they have a bunch of cameras that they have in all the different stadiums around the world that film the way the players run, shoot, pass the ball, dribble the ball, tackle, celebrate even, which is really, really cool. I think it's something that might get a little old with time. I know a lot of these signature running styles that are in the game presently, like Ronaldo, Holland, all of them, obviously you notice them, but it's not something that people really hyper fixate on. So I think it's very cool that they're adding that. They mentioned that they went from around 24, so around like 24 signature running styles, to now 1,200, which is pretty cool. I feel like if you play any Prem game or any game with like a team like Real Madrid or Barcelona, you're going to see all of the players running differently, shooting differently. It's going to look very, very cool. But yeah, the process that they had to go about doing this before was they actually had to get those players in a studio and put a mocap suit on them and have them actually do all of these actions like in their studios in real life. And it was a long, drawn out process. But the fact that they're able to do this now, with all of the actual real world stadiums, I think is pretty cool. So that's very nice to see. They also went over the play styles thing that's going to be new in the game. Of course, you can also take a read on what this is, but essentially it's going to be taking the place of the trait system that we have. So think of your traits like big throw in, the flare trait, all of those things completely removed with this new play style feature. And so if you've played other EA games like NHL, Madden, they have that X Factor system where the star players have their own signature abilities. Well, that's pretty much what these play styles are. They have some of the examples that they showed in the trailer, and obviously I'm going to put the gameplay on screen for you so that you can also see. They have a cool little clip of like Vinicius Jr. with this Trickster Plus playstyle. So you have the regular playstyle, and then you have the Plus version, which basically is the better version of the playstyle, which allows you to do a little more with it. But basically, Vinicius Jr. has the Trickster Plus playstyle, which I'm assuming, by the looks of it, makes you able to perform skill moves either a lot better, a lot easier, or maybe just be able to dribble the ball a lot easier. We're not too sure what some of these play styles entail, but the one that looks broken, and I hope it looks disgusting, that they showcased often in the trailer, was the one that Holland has, and that's the Power Shot Plus. And basically he's just going to be able to get those power shots off so quickly. Like in the trailer it looks really fast. I'm not too sure if that's how it's going to be in game, but it looks ridiculous. I mean, he just gets that power shot off with ease. It just looks like a regular shot, basically. So it looks like some of the playstyles are going to be really, really cool. This is a feature I'm really looking forward to. It looks really exciting. As someone who does play NHL, like some other EA games, it's a feature I'm really, really looking forward to. It looks really cool. And then they also go over the Frostbite engine. They didn't really go too in depth with it. It's basically just, it makes the game look crazy. I mean, if you've ever played any other games with the Frostbite engine, like Battlefield or anything else like that, I think Battlefront even uses the Frostbite engine. The graphics look incredible. I mean, in the trailer, it looks amazing. I hope it looks cooler. It looks as cool, sorry, in game. But the one thing I am concerned about is the storage size of the game. Usually games that have crazy graphics, think of the new Call of Duties, like the Modern Warfare 2, the new Call of Duty, have crazy file sizes. So I'm just hoping that FC24 doesn't end up being like an 120 gigabytes game that comes out, in the next couple of months. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I feel like that's a little extreme, but I'm hoping that, this looks very nice as it does in the trailer and it's not a letdown. But we'll move on to the career mode stuff. Oh, actually, before we do, another thing that they actually did mention was the evolution FUT cards that they're going to be bringing into the game. So the example they gave was Makoko, who is a silver card. As you can see here, I believe it was a 69 rated silver card. And I actually have a little example here of what they might look like in game on Ultimate Team. But basically, you'll start off with their base card. Take Alvarez, for example, who's 81 rated at the beginning of the game, and you'll actually be able to develop them over time. So as you can see here, he goes from a 69 rated to an 85 rated card by doing some objectives, and they also earn play styles as you play with the card and level them up, which is a really cool idea. I think they kind of play tested it with the whole level up promo that recently came out in Ultimate Team, which a lot of people actually hated on. In the they thought the promo was kind of it was a little iffy. It was kind of dead, but I don't know. This is something new. I think it looks kind of cool, and we'll just have to kind of see what this whole entails. If it's going to be kind of like the level up promo, might not be super amazing, but we'll just have to see. Also, another thing is the women in Ultimate Team. So you won't only be playing as men. You'll be able to have girls like Sam Kerr in your Ultimate Team. Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of cool. It's going to be interesting to see the way they interact with the men on the pitch, but that's just another cool feature that they're adding. But let's actually move on with the career mode stuff. So I'm going to put up on the screen, I was actually there for when they premiered this on the YouTube channel, and a lot of the community does not look happy with the career mode the career mode features that they released this year. And a lot of people were hoping for some sort of online career mode. I believe I have a Twitter page pulled up. Oh, sorry, an X page pulled up. Oh my gosh. Regarding that. But yeah, no online career mode, even though there were certain leaks of it. But I will go over the career mode features that they did go over, and I'll give you my opinions of it. So they have the new feature in the manager career mode with coaching staff, which is something that they have on, I know NHL has it, where you can hire these coaching staff and it actually affects your players in game. You're able to train these players with a certain coaching staff and it affects their in-game stats, which I think is a feature that was long overdue. Definitely should have had this a couple games ago at the very least. I think it's a good feature to have. Finally, they finally do have it, and so that's something that is a little exciting to see. And they have all these preparation features that they added. So the training plans, which basically just makes it easier. It's just like a whole interface that they introduced to make it easier to keep your players sharp and fit for the games ahead. Another one is the match ready training, which I believe you can give players certain training drills that they will actually take in game and act them out in game, which I think is actually really cool. If that's as cool as they're promising in the trailer, that sounds pretty awesome. And then they also have the pre-match reports, which basically I doubt anybody is going to go super in depth in these. If you are a huge career mode person, you might, but they basically go over what your opposing team that you'll be going up in a match, what their tactics involve, and what players are going to be playing in what position. Basically a little report that you can refer to before you go into a match. So for example, if you're going up against a team like Man City, you're probably not going to want to play possession. You're probably going to want to play a little more defensive, play a little bit more on the counter attack, and that pre-match report will kind of explain that to you and resemble that in a nice little condensed page for you. There's also different spectating modes that they're introducing, like the manager sideline view, and there's like I believe a camera from the fans' point of view, which I think is pretty cool. But I don't know, I feel like this is like, they're cool features, but I feel like it leaves you wanting more. You know what I mean? They're not like huge huge features that are gonna shake things up in a manager career. It's a lot of the same. So I'm hoping that I feel like we say this every year, but I'm hoping next year that they come out with some like online career mode or something, that shakes up the career mode a little bit, because the deep dive trailer that they released leaves you wanting a little more from the manager career point of things. And then we go on to the player career mode stuff, which basically they added the player agent, which I think is a very good feature. And essentially the way the player agent works is, if you start off at, say you start off at a League 3 squad and you want to work your way up to being, the star player at Real Madrid, you can basically tell your player agent that, and they'll give you career objectives and actual set goals in order to, reach that goal in the future. Which I think is very cool. It's definitely a huge improvement, because before in career mode everything was very manual. If you wanted to go on loan, you'd ask your manager, can I go on loan? If you wanted to transfer, it was all in the hands of the manager of whether you were able to actually go out to be transferred to another team, and you couldn't even guarantee if it was a good team or not. I think the player agent is very nice for player career, something much needed. And the whole personality system that they introduced not long ago is going to coincide with the new play style feature that they're adding. So for example, if you're a Maverick, I'm certain that will give you access to better play styles involving shooting and dribbling and all of that. Or if you're the heartbeat personality type, it'll have some midfield stuff involving passing and all that, which I think is very cool. But again, a couple nice features, but a couple features that leave you wanting more from the career mode. I think the career mode was a huge letdown, as you can see also by the live chat from the YouTube premiere. Yeah, it's the community I don't think is very happy with this one from EA. It's unfortunate, because EA has the ability to make this so awesome, and so realistic and so immersive, but I feel like every year we keep saying, next year they'll put in this, next year they'll put in that, next year there'll be an online career mode. So unfortunately there won't be any of those this year, but those are the new features that they introduced in the deep dive trailers. Now we're going to move on to some some other things that I found, some leaks, and you know, things that I want to get your opinions on as well. So, first we'll go on to Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi's rating in the new EAFC 24. Now, this is something that a lot of people are very upset about, especially Ronaldo's rating. I feel like Messi got done a little dirty here also. He went, I'll show you their cards from the previous game. So Messi, 91 rated in FIFA 23, went to an 88 rated at Inter Miami, which I think is absolute robbery. I don't think the guy has gotten much worse, especially not a 3 rating less, much worse, you know, with the form he was on at the World Cup at the end of the year. And a lot of people are, you know, will say, oh, he wasn't good at PSG. I feel like he was still, if he wasn't first, I'm not too sure if he was, but he was still at least top 5 in goal contributions. I'll put it up on the screen now to show if I was correct or not in assuming that, but this guy is still an absolutely a world-class player, and the fact that he got a 3 minus rating was a bit ridiculous. I feel like they could have put him down to a 90, maybe an 89, but 88, it didn't sit right with me. I don't think it sat right with a lot of the community. But if that's how they felt about Messi, then seeing Cristiano Ronaldo as an 83 rated player this year angered a lot of people. We'll take a look at his card. This is his Al Nassr card. Obviously, I don't think he should be a 90 rated player. He just, you know, with the whole thing that went on at Manchester United, with him being out of favor with Ten Hag and not really performing in the World Cup, and even at Al Nassr, obviously he's going to perform there, but it's the Saudi league, you know. I feel like he deserved at least a 3, maybe even a 4 rating decrease down to an 86 or an 87. But at the end of the day, it's still Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, an 83 rated player is a bit ridiculous. Let me know if you agree in the comments, but I felt like, or disagree, to be fair, to people on the other side of the argument, but I felt like the 83 was a huge disrespect to the kind of player that Ronaldo is. So I wanted to quickly go over that. Again, let me know in the comments if you feel a little differently about this, but I think both players being downgraded the way they were was a little drastic in my eyes. We'll move on now to, this is what we were talking about earlier, the no online career mode. This is something that people have been asking for literal years, and they keep coming and saying, oh, you know, they'll do it next year. Oh, they'll do it next year. Oh, they had other stuff they wanted to do this year. I think another reason as to why career mode didn't come for FC, I hate that I have to make excuses for them, but it's also the rebranding that they had to go through. You know, they went from FIFA, which they've had as the name of their game for like literal decades. You know, you can go back all the way to like FIFA 06, FIFA 09, all those games, literal decades they've been named FIFA, to now having to completely rebrand to EAFC 24. You know, I think that's another reason as to why maybe the career mode features weren't as amazing or spectacular as they were projected to be. But yeah, I hate making excuses for EA, but I think that's another reason as to why this won't be happening. Also, another thing I wanted to go over is licensing issues, especially in the last couple years, have been a bit of an issue for EA, and it's proceeding to be another huge issue. And as you can see there, AC and Inter Milan are no longer going to be licensed with EA. They're exclusive to eFootball. Another huge blow to EA. I mean, these are the two biggest teams in the Serie A, arguably, you know, two huge clubs in the world, and you know, to have them completely just cut from the game is very disappointing. You know, it brings you back to Juve when they had to be called like Piemonte Calcio which I don't know how they came up with that name, but they had to be called some random name, some random logo for a couple of years. They finally came back to EA, and now both the Milans will be joining Roma and Napoli because they are also still not here. As we can see, they're also exclusive to eFootball. Um, so yeah, Serie A fans probably going to be steered away from this game. Honestly, it's very disappointing, but if it doesn't end there because both Bayern Munich's Allianz Arena and Barcelona's Nou Camp. Excuse me if I mispronounce that. I believe it's Now or New. I'm not too sure. I believe it's Nou Camp. Only exclusive to eFootball. So, yeah, it's very, very unfortunate that a lot of these, um, companies are choosing to part ways with EA. But maybe it is fortunate at the same time because it's going to make EA step up their game and want these companies to actually come back to their game that they were a part of for so many years. So, there is some competition on the horizon here with PES. Being able to actually steal all these licensing rights from EA, which is this huge, absolutely massive company, and they have been for so many years, is a pretty big deal in my eyes. But moving up next, I wanted to quickly talk about the cover of the Ultimate Edition. I'm sure if you've been following the recent news for FC24, I'm sure you've seen all the memes that have come out for this cover. I mean, the caption here with Saka. I mean, that is not Bukayo Saka. Like, who looked at that and thought that was acceptable? I mean, Perlo also on the side here looks like he's seen some stuff. Like, why is he so wide-eyed? It's pretty funny, but I feel like aside from those players, um, like, I mean, Bellingham looks great. Holland looks great. You want all of the best players in the world to look like themselves. Heung-min Son, fantastic. I don't know who this is, but this just doesn't look right. I don't know. Like, it looks like low res. I don't know why or who that is, but anyways, yeah, I wanted to quickly show you the cover. A lot of memes have come out for it, and I thought it was pretty funny. Move on to the card design of the new EAFC 24. So this is what it's going to look like. Also, it's a little 2-for-1 because Ribery is coming as an icon, which I think is pretty cool and well deserved. But a lot of people are hating on the new card design. We can go over here to just the gold card design. This is Darwin Núñez. A lot of people hating on it. I personally like it. I think they should improve a little bit on the bottom here, like with the country league and logo here. I don't know. I feel like it's a little small. You can see it like decently on the screen here, but I think once you're actually in game and you're playing with the cards in your ultimate team, it's going to be very, very hard to see. So if there's any way they can enlarge in that at all, they should definitely do that. But I really like the card design, and we can go over here as well. These are projected heroes in the game. This card design looks amazing. I think it's gonna give the opportunity for EA to have some really, really cool card designs and really cool dynamic images, because there's just so much room to work with now, whereas before you had half of the card taken up by the stats. Now they're all lined up. We can go back here, lined up at the bottom like so. So it just gives so much room for EA to work with, and with all the new promos that are always coming into Ultimate Team, I think there's going to be some really, really cool looking cards come into the next, installment of FC24. I think they're going to look really cool. Let me know your thoughts. I know it's a bit of a change from what FIFA usually does with their card designs, but I personally think it looks kind of cool. Moving on, Crossplay, which is something that everybody, a lot of people have been asking for, finally available in pro clubs, which I cannot tell you how long I've been waiting for this. I play pro clubs pretty much every year with friends, but I have a lot of friends that have the PlayStation because, you know, I'm an Xbox scrub, as a lot of people do say about me, but that won't be a worry anymore because you'll be able to play with anybody, which I think is a very, very nice addition from EA. A big pat on the back. Another feature that should have been in the game a while ago, but they finally have done it. So, you know, kudos to EA bringing some features in that the community have been asking for. Another thing, especially if you're a returning viewer on a channel, you know that the chemistry system can sometimes be a little annoying to get full chem on drafts, especially, you know, when you have a card locked in at center forward, for example, like Hullitz or something, and you can only use him at center forward, but you're using a formation that doesn't have that. He just doesn't get doesn't get any chem in the draft. But fortunately, they're just completely removing the position cards, which I think is very, very, very nice addition to FC. It just, like it says here, makes the chemistry easier to get, not only in drafts but also in your teams. You just don't have to go through the whole process of, you know, buying a position modifier if you don't have one and then applying it to your players. It's just going to make things a lot easier and, in my opinion, a lot better. Another thing, the first person camera, I don't know if you saw in the trailer, this looks really, really cool. I mean, this is a bad picture of it, so I'll put on screen what I'm talking about in the gameplay trailer. They showed a quick little glimpse of it, and I think this is going to look really, really cool once we actually have access to this, especially for player career. And I think it's going to look very, very nice and very cool. Something that a lot of people are looking forward to, including myself. And finally, the last feature I just wanted to quickly shout out is this was the cover for the gameplay trailer, and basically hinting at the shush being back. This is going to result in a lot of broken remotes during FUT champs and a lot of rage. So I also believe the gritty will still be in the game, so do expect some toxicity in the new EA FC 24. But hopefully this video went over everything that you've had questions about. Let me know in the comments. Are you excited for EA FC 24? Are you buying it? Have you pre-ordered it? And let me know if you agree or disagree with some of my thoughts on some of these features. I think, as a quick little summary, I will be pre-ordering it. Most likely, I haven't yet, but I will be pre-ordering it, especially because I want to make content with it on the channel for you watching right now. I don't know if they've given us enough, and I think you know, that it's due in parts to the whole rebranding of EA FC 24, and, you know, the marketing team going to work on that whole escapade. But I don't know, I feel like this next installment of the game is going to have a lot of players you know, desiring more. You know, I could be wrong on that. I'm hoping that you know, all the hype that's coming around the game is, you know, going to be reflected actually in the when I'm actually playing, and I'm hoping that it ends up being really, really good, because there's been, like, the whole, you know, rebranding of FCs looks really cool, and I've been seeing all of these content creators, you know, go into, like, that whole studio or whatever it is, and saying it looks very nice. So I'm hoping for exactly that. But anyways, like I said, let me know in the comments if you disagree or agree with anything I've said in this video, anything you're excited for, and peace. thank you so much for watching. Click the video in the top left or right to watch something else on my channel.